Hello Fragcom, Max Forte again to bring you another good, bad, ugly, underrated, and overrated. This time the House of Creed. Yes, the House of Creed, the controversial, loved, hated by some, but nevertheless controversial and amazing House of Creed. I have 14 compositions here. These are the compositions that I have for the most part in my main rotation. For the most part, the creeds that I really love and enjoy are right here amongst these 14. The caveat for this video was I was not going to have any Les Royales and none of the discontinued fragrances or fragrances that I didn't wear or didn't have in my collection. So basically these 14 are the top fragrances in my collection that I have from the House of Creed. I'm going to go through as I go from left to right, and then here in the middle I'm going to give you a little bit of insight in my thoughts in each one of these compositions. A little bit of background of the company. Creed's been around since 1760, as we all know. It was passed down from father to son from James Henry Creed that founded the company in London in 1760. This is a French, Paris-based company, and it was passed down from father to son. There's lots of these compositions here were creations of Olivier Creed, I believe, with collaboration with different perfumers, just like Pierre Baudin did Green Irish Tweed, if I'm not mistaken, and then so forth and so on. And then I think his son, Urban Creed, had a lot to do with the newer compositions like Original Santal, Royal Oud, Aventus, and so forth and so on. So the company was created in 1760. It's said to have served a lot of kings like George III. Also, it's said to have served lots of different royalties in France and England. 1885, Queen Victoria appointed them as their official supplier for the British Royal Court. All that good stuff that we can read about and do some research online and find these amazing things about the House of Creed and some of the royal services that they provided to a lot of these kingdoms. So I would say their most admired creation, and amongst us collectors and Creed lovers, I think 1985 creation, Green Irish Tweed was a staple. And then in 2010, today, the most sought for, talked and discussed fragrance in the fragrance community is Aventus. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. Currently, Creed has about 70 plus perfumes in their database. And most of these here, or all of them, are actually EDP, Eau de Parfum. A little bit controversial because a lot of these compositions are very fresh. They really don't last as much as you would expect from an ADP, but that's something from a different conversation. I don't want to veer off too much into a different topic. Let's just talk about the good, bad, ugly, underrated, and overrated. So let me give you, without further ado, from left all the way to right, and then I'm going to go through the middle section of this fragrance that are here in the center, and we'll talk about every one of these fragrances for you. I'm not going to go too much in depth into the notes because it's just going to be too long of a video. So without further ado, over here on the left we have Royal Oud. This beautiful composition needs absolutely no introduction. This is a staple in anybody's collection. This is a loved fragrance in the fragrance community. I believe this was released in 2011. This is fantastic. This is your beautiful, subdued oud, not in your face, front and center, not medicinal, not harsh, not hard to wear at all. This is actually a beautiful composition that can be worn, I believe, all year round, really. This is really inoffensive and beautiful. I tend to like this most in the fall, but this really could be worn in the spring, in the winter. It's just a beautiful, beautiful composition altogether. Next up here we have Bois de Portugal. Bois de Portugal is really nice. This one has a more traditional, more mature kind of feel to it. It's got cloves, lavender. This is a composition that really has that old traditional. It's got a lot of woods also. It's beautiful. I really enjoy this, but this is definitely more mature. This was actually Frank Sinatra's signature scent. Beautiful, beautiful scent. Next up here we have Tabaron, not to be confused with the original Tabaron, which was amazing, creamy, woodsy tobacco fragrance, but this is beautiful nevertheless. I love this Millésime Tabaron. It's very nice. Very underrated. I would say try this if you can. I absolutely love this fragrance. This is extremely nice. This is an aromatic fougere. You get beautiful citruses up top with some ginger in the heart and leather and tobacco and woods and ambergris, signature Creed ambergris at the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance, guys. Very, very underrated in my opinion. Next up here we have one that is not really talked about, and not many people talk about this one, but this is a really hidden gem. This is Millesime 1849. This was an exclusive to Harrods of London. This has vanilla bourbon. It has oud in the composition. Got some flowers in the heart of this, like jasmine, ylang ylang. But the oud, the sandalwood, the musk, the vanilla bourbon are very, very beautiful and unique in this fragrance. I love the dry down. It's fantastic. The opening can be a little bit harsh with the florals and the oud, but if you wait 35-40 minutes, this thing starts to really, really shine. I have a full review on this. If you're interested, take a look at it. This is a Creed Millesime 1849, one of my favorites from the house. Next up here, one that needs absolutely no introduction. I talked about it a little bit in the beginning. This is Creed GIT, as we know, or Green Irish Tweed. Beautiful composition, fantastic, easy to wear, dumb reach, if you will. What can I say? This has, resemblances to Cool Water, as many will say, but I think this is definitely in a different level. This is much nicer, depending on the batch that you get. As we all know about the batch variations, you're going to get something that's going to be more fresher or herbaceous. Nevertheless, this is fantastic, guys. What you get with this, you get that beautiful lemon verbena with the violet leaves, the iris, the sandalwood, and the ambergris. Not very complex, but very, very beautiful, guys. This is fantastic. A little bit on the linear side, but beautiful, beautiful nevertheless. Creation of 1985. Fantastic. One of Creed's best. Next over here we have one that is also very nice. This is very clean. It's like a beautiful, bar of soap. This is a beautiful, beautiful composition. This is Creed Original Vetiver. Not to be confused with Vetiver 1948. The John Fitzgerald Kennedy signature scent with the silver cap. Not silver, I'm sorry, gray cap. This is Original Vetiver. This is beautiful, guys. This has resemblances to Thierry Mugler's Cologne, but this is a little better. I like this better than I like Thierry Mugler's Original Cologne, which is really nice too. But Original Vetiver has that cream crisp feel. But what I like the most about this fragrance is that it has a little bit of spiciness to it. With the ginger that they have on this, gives this a little bit of a kick. It's got the bergamot, the mandarin oranges, it has a little bit of iris, vetiver, obviously, sandalwood, ambergris, and musk. I truly, truly love this, especially for work. It's a great, great scent. Next one here is another one that needs no introduction. Is one that is loved by the community. This is one that most people that love Creed has in their arsenal. This is Millesime Imperial. This is a beautiful, beautiful scent. You have that sea salt, the ambergris, that fruity sensation that you get, which is like, almost like, ripened watermelons. Just a beautiful fragrance, awesome to wear in the summertime. I absolutely love this. I put a dent on this bottle. I've had many bottles of this composition. Is one that I always have in my Creed rotation. I truly, truly adore Millesime Imperial. It's one that really doesn't need any introduction. If you like Creed, most likely you'll like this. It's very inoffensive, crowd pleaser, compliment getter. I can go on for hours. Great fragrance. Next up here is another one. We're talking about summer and warm, temperatures, something that's fresh, that's going to give you compliments, it's going to smell great on your skin, is of course Virgin Island water. This is my third bottle in the last 3 years, guys, and it's almost time for another one. Unbelievable, guys. This particular batch here is unbelievable. The combination with the coconut, that tequila lime vibe, a little bit of fizziness to this. Just great fragrance, guys. I absolutely love Virgin Island water, especially in the warm weather. When it hits 70 and above, mornings, I reach out for this guy. Beautiful. Virgin Island water, fantastic composition. Next up here is one that I absolutely love in the fall. This is Original Santal, guys. I put a dent, just about half of the bottle's gone. I wear this a lot in the fall. This has that cinnamon, a little bit of spicy, woods. Beautiful composition. Sure, there's compositions out there that are similar to this, like Individual by Mont Blanc, but you know what? I get more out of this, and I love this. But, you know, don't get me wrong, individual is actually pretty good if you don't want to spend this kind of money. But, you know, I'm telling you, original Santal is fantastic as well. You get the cinnamon, sandalwood, ginger as well, tonka bean and vanilla to dry down. Just a beautiful fragrance, guys. If you haven't smelled this, you know, you want to compare this with Individual's Mont Blanc, do that. You know, some people like this better. You know, I love both. But, you know, sometimes when I want something that projects and it's a little bit stronger, I go with Original Santal. And next up here in the corner, we have one that's criminally underrated. It's something that I started to wear really about 1.5 years ago, and I'm really in love with this. This is Creed's Arofa, guys. You know, look at the dent I've put in this bottle. Less than half of the bottle left. Definitely getting another bottle. This is fantastic, guys. This is beautiful. That sea salt breeze kind of vibe that you get. You know, not sweet, a little bit of sweetness, but just right. Arofa is just fantastic for the spring and the summertime, guys. Something that really the fragrance community should talk more about. I don't know why this stays dormant, because it's a great composition. I believe this was introduced in '92. They changed the package. This is considered a Chypre. I'd say this is really like, you know, an ozonic, a little bit, you know, aquatic, if you will. You get a melon note, lime, bergamot, you know, Amalfi lemons. You get pine needles, ginger, nutmeg, some green notes, but the bottom with the musk, the ambergris, the sea notes. Just beautiful, guys. Check this out if you can. Arofa is just fantastic for this time of the year. All right, getting to the middle here. Let's talk about Himalaya, guys. Himalaya is one that is really dormant. Another criminally underrated fragrance. I tend to like this more in the fall, early fall, but it's really nice fragrance, guys. If you haven't checked it out, you know, I urge you to do that. You will not be disappointed. What you get with Creed Himalaya is a beautiful oriental woody. It's fresh, but it's also a little bit spicy. You get some of the, you know, components like Amalfi lemon, bergamot. You get sandalwood, ambergris, obviously musk, cedar. But, you know, I think there's some ginger in here too. It's just beautiful, guys. If you like, you know, fragrances like Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme, this is like a spicier version of that. You know, very nice, projects very good in the first couple hours. I love this. Himalaya is really nice. Another criminally underrated here is Silver Mountain Water. Some people talk about an ink note that they get on this. I don't get that. I actually like the uniqueness of this. This is like the best of both worlds. You have your, you know, fresh and green components with this fragrance, and you get a little bit of body with it too. You know, it's, you know, this is an aromatic fragrance. You know, there's mandarin oranges. You know, there's a black currant note here that I really love, which I get with Aventus as well. And some tea notes, and then some resins with, I believe, is galbanum, which I think that's what people get, that, you know, with the galbanum and the paddock grain. I think that mixture gives them that ink feel, but the musk and the sandalwood here are beautiful, and this is just an awesome compliment getters. And I tell you one thing, guys, women love this. My significant other, every time I wear this, she's all over me. So I'm telling you guys, Silver Mountain Water is fantastic. Give it a whiff if you can. Another one that's very underrated in my opinion that I discovered about 1 year ago, and it's definitely part of my, you know, spring and summer arsenal, is Royal Water, guys. This was, I believe, introduced in 1997. It was made to measure for Princess Diana, which I think, you know, a lot of people didn't really care for this. You know, a lot of people say this has a little bit of a feminine feel to it. I can see where they're going with that, but I'm going to tell you guys one thing. I get a lot of compliments with this, and when it's warm out, this is an amazing fragrance, guys. Great compliment getter. Women love this scent as well. You know, what I get with this is a citrus aromatic, guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful fresh. You have a beautiful note of citruses up top with some mint, which give that nice freshness and that beautiful opening. The heart, you get a little bit of the flowers, that you can get a little bit of the feminine thing with the basil and the juniper berries, but I really love it. And then you get ambergris and musk. I love this, guys. This is definitely a hidden gem. If you haven't checked this out for the warm weather, guys, try Royal Water. You're not going to be disappointed. And last but not least, you know, obviously we have, you know, the king, you know, Creed Aventus, guys. What can you say about Aventus? You know, this is a K01 batch, you know, with the new Regal beautiful sprayer. It is just a beautiful fragrance, guys. You know, K01. The K01, for those that don't know, is a more fruitier batch. You get, you know, more of the pineapple note, which people seem to love more than, as opposed to the birch, the smokiness of some of the batches, which I can see why. But I tell you guys, Aventus is just fantastic fragrance, and it's all year round. This could be a signature scent. This can shine in any weather, spring, summer, fall, and winter. You're going to smell great. This is considered a chypre fruity. Again, the notes, everybody knows the notes. You get the black currant, the pineapple, the French apples, the bergamot, the rose, the jasmine, some patchouli, the birchwood, which the combination of those will give you some of that smokiness that we talked about. And then to dry it down, obviously you get the ambergris, the vanilla, the moss, and the musk. Just a beautiful fragrance, guys. This is an amazing fragrance. So that's the 14 compositions that I have from the House of Creed, from left to right in the center. Gave you guys a little bit of the background on each of these compositions. Now, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing the good, which will be, the fragrance that is, the best from what I think I have here from my rotation. The bad, for some reason, whether it could be because of reformulations, or it could be because it's hard to find, whatever the case may be, that will be the bad. The ugly will be a composition that's not really that good, whether it be because it doesn't have good performance, or whatever the case may be, will be the ugly. The underrated, obviously, will be the most underrated here from what I have that I think deserves some attention. And the most overrated, obviously, as you guys know, will be the one that gets the most attention, and, maybe it's just tremendously overrated. But anyway, guys, stay tuned. Coming up next, the good. Alright, FatCom, so there we go. I'm going to give you guys the good from the House of Creed, guys. The good has to go to this composition, guys, Creed Aventus. Why the good? Because it's, it is more masculine, but it can be worn by both men and women. But most importantly, it's extremely versatile. You can wear this all year round, dress up, dress down, casual, formal. It's just a great compliment getter, beautiful fragrance. So definitely Creed Aventus, you will get the good from the House of Creed. So next will be the bad. Alright, the bad from the House of Creed, the regular line, which is really not a regular, quote-unquote, but I will go with Millesime 1849 as the bad. Why is it the bad? A couple of things. Number one, it is kind of hard to find. I think you only find this at the Creed Boutique in Manhattan, New York City, or overseas in England. It's a Harrods exclusive. And then the price. The price is, I think over $300 for a 2.5 bottle. So because of that, I will give this the bad from the House of Creed. Now, next up, we have the ugly. The ugly from the 14 compositions that I have will have to go to this composition. Not because it's a bad composition, I don't like the scent, I do enjoy it. But the only reason why I'm giving this one here, the ugly, is because Bois de Portugal has that old, traditional, mature feel. It's a great fragrance, guys. However, I had to pick one, so I'm picking this one as the ugly, because it's not as a crowd pleaser as some of these other compositions here from Creed. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm giving this, it's not a dumb reach, not as easy to wear, so I'm giving this Bois de Portugal. I would have given it to 1849, but because of the price, this gets the ugly. So the underrated, guys, the underrated from the House of Creed. Gotta go with this composition here that I've been wearing for the past year that I truly love. Both springs and summers has been shining for me, so Creed Arolfa, guys. This is the underrated from the House of Creed. This is a fragrance that needs a lot of attention from the fragrance community. If you like that sea breeze, sea salt, kind of feel a little bit of sweet, a little bit of woods in the background, a little bit of green. This is just right, guys, for spring and summer. I love this. This is the underrated for me, guys. Creed Arolfa's. This 1992 composition is unbelievable. A little bit of ginger there, too. Awesome. And then last but not least, the most overrated from the brand. It's probably going to be a tie, guys. The most overrated from the brand. But I'll give it to Millésime Imperial. You know what? It'll be a tie. The most overrated probably Millésime Imperial and GIT. I think these two are the most overrated. You know, Aventus is right there. But since I gave Aventus the good for its versatility and for, you know, all that it really is, the way it smells and, you know, what you get out of it, these two are probably the most overrated from the brand. Millésime Imperial and Great Irish Tweed are probably the two most commons, if you will, from the brand. You know, safe to wear, dumb reach kind of fragrances. You know, one for, you know, awesome for the summer and spring. The other one also good for summer, spring, and maybe fall. Great fragrances. They could be worn, you know, it could be worn all year round. These are signature scents worthy. Great fragrances. So, I guess these are the overrated. If I had to pick, you know, a couple overrated pieces, this is the good. I think Rolf is definitely the most underrated in my opinion. The ugly, I'll give it to Arolfa. The ugly, I'll give it to Bois de Portugal just because it's got that mature feel, not as easy to wear. And the bad, definitely to 1849 because of the price and also because it's not that easy to wear. So those are my picks, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this good, bad, ugly, underrated, overrated from the House of Creed. It's not easy when you have to dissect these brands and pick these compositions for a certain tag, whether it be, you know, your favorite, your most underrated, you know, of the house. It's always really hard when there's so many great compositions, and all of these are awesome, guys. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Please comment, rate, subscribe for more. Let me know if you want to see any reviews from any of these fragrances here, any of these 14 compositions, you know, if you'd like to see a review on them. I've done Royal Oud, I've done Aventus, and I've done 1849, I think, from the House of Creed. But anything else you want to see a review on it, please comment down below. Let me know what is your favorite from the house, your good, your bad, your ugly, your underrated or overrated from the House of Creed in your opinion. I'd love to hear that. I'll talk to you guys soon.